Hello, family. This is Keziah with High Priestess Key 333. And today we are going to talk about the first universal law with astrology, family. Okay. So, as I told you guys, we were going to get into the number one, right? But we're going to start the number one off over here. In reference of you learning a little bit of spiritual astrology as I have learned, okay, with my spiritual family, which I love, right? All the ancient knowledge won't be given here, of course, right? Because my spiritual mother and my spiritual coven, right? We can't give everything out here on this big platform, but what I can do is give you not really like the basics, but it is the basic, right? In reference of the spiritual astrology and the universal laws that go with it, okay? Do understand you have to do your own research, because you should be going within. You should not be taking in any information that you haven't double checked behind, such as myself. You could double check behind the universal laws, but the spiritual astrology can't pretty much check behind it unless you go to your ancestors, and your ancestors gonna let you know, okay? Because when I was taught this, because of course everyone is taught the Western at first, right? And the Western is everything is based. I'm not saying there's not one better than the other. It's what resonates with you, okay? So you won't get that here. But what I will tell you is what the ancestors have spoke to me on in meditation and in prayer, and in reference of the things that I've been shown. Okay. So I'm a testimony to the spiritual astrology as well. But my spiritual family, we've learned this years ago, right? All the way up to utilizing it all today, right? And it definitely rings true. But what I was going to say was, I actually really pay attention to, if I'm going to look at astrology, it will be more or less like the truth sidereal or the verdict. But in actuality, family, I really function off of the spiritual astrology and what the ancestors show us with the planetary alignment, and not just 7 planets that they've given you to go by. Okay, because you're deceived. Okay, so with this knowledge that I'm giving you, is neither here nor there. You can look it up, when I'm talking about it, or when I say one planet that you may not understand or know, look it up. It's out there. But they only want you to be selected with the 7 or the 8 planets. I say 7 because there's normally the sun, the moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, Pluto, which is a fake planet, and what's the other one they give you? Oh, Uranus, right? So they only give you 7, and there's like multiple planets that you should be paying attention to. Okay, that goes along with the planetary alignment, that goes along with the spiritual astrology. All right. Now, when I say the spiritual astrology, is the first 12 of the zodiac. Okay, which, as I was taught, it lets you know in reference of these fallen angels that have turned into the maniac zodiacs, right? And so it comes with a sin. But remember, there's duality in everything, right? So there's a sin, but then there's something that you can do that can change what is within and how we've gotten here, actually, right? So there's the good and the bad to every one of these zodiacs, right? The maniacs is the way I'm taught, right? And I will continue to advise you, because this is the way I have actually been taught spiritual astrology, and actually went and clarified it with my ancestors, my spirit team, my guides, my angels, my God. All right. And it's been confirmed. And I've actually lived it, okay, to the T. All right. Down to the numerology. Okay. And we're going to get into that too, but not too much over here. Okay. You're going to be able to get more of this from me on my Patreon. And I have a Patreon, but it's under my big channel, which is all in the cards. I'm getting ready to bring an aspect of High Priestess Key there. and we're going to get more into the planetary alignment, the spiritual astrology. But I wanted to give you guys this first 12 astrology explanation, because this is how I'll be pulling cards for over here. Not only just the elements, but based off of the spiritual astrology that goes with the numerology. Okay. And if you don't know what I'm doing, that's okay too, because you're going to still get the message, right? But if you want to be in tune to how I'm utilizing the planetary alignment and the numerology and the spiritual astrology with the zodiacs, then this is a video that you want to probably pay attention to. Okay. So I'm just going to go through the 12, right? Which is definitely about the universal laws that are attached to the astrology, the real spiritual astrology. And some people will hear me call it out when I'm doing readings now, right? And this is so you can understand about your own zodiac, and it probably will resonate with you. All right. And I may break this up. I may not put everything all in one video because it's going to take me a while. So maybe I'll just start with the first one, which is the first universal law, which is what I talk about all the time on All in the Cards, my first channel, right? And that channel definitely gives you a huge aspect of my growth, right? From me doing only tarot cards and oracle cards, to me growing into learning my astrology, to me growing into learning my planetary alignments, and to me growing and learning about numerology. It's basically learning my higher self and knowing my purpose is to teach, but spiritually. Okay, so I had to learn, and I'm still learning. I will never stop learning, and I don't know everything. I would never attest to that. And I will always say I will continue to learn, because if you don't continue to learn, you might as well just stop and there's no growth. So that means you're not living. But I want to continue to live my life, and I want to continue to grow. So let's get into the first universal law. I'm going to break these up for you guys because I want you to take it a piece at a time. Okay. So today we'll start with the first, which is Virgo. Okay, Virgo is the first zodiac, but also it's attached to the first universal law, which is what? The first universal law, if you look at the universal laws, okay, is the law of the divine oneness, okay? Because with Virgo, they are the divine. That's why they show you in the Western, it's a Virgin, Mary, and all this kind of stuff, but it's actually the divine. It's actually the one that you're supposed to follow, because they are supposed to follow all the rules and all the laws. You see, they are supposed to be the divine messenger. You see, so knowing this and looking at the universal law, it goes hand in hand. You see, that's how most of these zodiacs are going to look to you guys as well once I start advising you in reference of this. And I'm not going to get into a lot of what goes attached to it. And it's a lot more, family. It's a lot more that goes into this spiritual astrology. But what I will do is just let you know the universal law and how that plays a part, right? So that Virgo energy, right, which is that Virgin Mary in the Western, right? And I'm a Virgo moon, so I resonate with this, right? And I resonate with the good attributes and the negative attributes, right? But with this first universal law, the law of divine oneness, right? It's about us all being connected. It's about the actual Virgo being the house of the divine. It's about the Virgos that are able to understand that everything is all connected, everything with life, right? And so everything is connected, and, to follow all the rules. And to know that as a Virgo, you are to walk in your divine light. That's why I'm always saying that, right? You're supposed to walk in your divine light, because I know that's what I'm supposed to do, right? But it's in my moon, so that means it's in my shadow. That means I have to work even harder to work and walk in my divine light, to know, to not suppress, right? Because I talked about the sun, moon, and the rising on the other video. If you haven't checked that out, please go and check that out. But yes, family. So just know that um, that the Virgo energy is number one in the astrology, okay, of the spiritual astrology. And it's attached to the first universal law. All is mental oneness, okay? And when we talk about that, it's about you being the gods and the goddesses that you are, as well as, in this house, it's in reference of our ancient ancestors and so forth, right? It's in reference of parents and your grandparents and the elders, right? Come from this house, right? Because when we talk about astrology, we talk about the houses, okay? Like they do in the Western, okay, and all the other ones, the Vedic astrology and so forth. But yes, so Virgo is attached to that, family. So I just wanted you guys to know that. Also, the color of indigo, okay, is attached to Virgo. All right. Um, and that pretty much shows you why I love purple so much as well. Okay. And some of my fellow people that, have Virgo in your chart, there's a lot more into the actual sign Virgo that I would like to go further into, but I'm going to leave that over on my Patreon. But in reference of the universal laws, the 12 laws of the universe, family, the first one is the law of the divine oneness, and that is Virgo's house. All right. The light. Okay. The one that should lead by example, because they should show you that we are all connected. They are the teachers. They should be the ones showing you things, right? Big aspect of being the spiritual teacher, right? And the divine messenger, right? So being able to bring messages through the divine to you, as well as a lot of Virgos are very spiritual because they are connected to earth, all earthly possessions as well as the earth being connected back to this planet earth, nature first and foremost. So Virgos are first because they are connected to that as well. Nature, Mother Earth. Hello, right? It's moon energy too with Virgos, okay, being in that first sign, but the sister to the sun, okay, and the daughter to earth. All right. So I'm gonna leave it there in reference because I don't want this to be too long. I just say 1313. So this is all about educating you right now with that Ganymede energy coming through. But I definitely wanted to tell you guys about it. Oh, and just know once you do decide that you want to go further into the spiritual astrology in reference of what's truly across from the Virgos, what is the planetary alignment attached to the Virgos, which I will tell you is Eris and it's Hamaya. You probably have never heard of those planets, but we're going to deep dive into that on Patreon. All right. So those that are here that are from my Patreon, we are going to deep dive. I'm bringing the aspect of a show that is continuation from this channel. But on this channel, we're going to be doing more pulling cards for the zodiacs and so forth. Okay. So that's why I have to go through each one. All right. So Virgo is first. All right. So I'm going to leave this here and I'm going to pull some cards for Virgo to give Virgo a message for today. And the ones that I go through day to day is the ones that I'm going to pull for. All right. So you'll have a message by yourself. All right. So with all that being said, this is the first spiritual astrology with universal laws, or the law of the universe, which is one, Virgo. All right. All is connected and all is divine oneness. All right. And all is mental but connected to the earth. All right. Peace. Make sure you get this information.